Good evening. Welcome to Short Story Time Theater with William Baxter. That's me. And tonight's story from my book Web Tales is called The Last Apostle. First off, what is an apostle? Some may believe they are the 12 apostles who were with Jesus when he walked the earth, plus Paul, who was considered an apostle as he started churches throughout Asia. There are others in history who have been dubbed as apostles since the life of Paul in the New Testament, such as Saint Patrick, apostle to Ireland, and Saint Juan Diego, apostle to North America. The word apostle is a Greek word meaning one who is sent away on a mission. Today, people who are dubbed by the Pope as apostles are people who have been canonized as saints. There is one individual who was recently canonized and dubbed as an apostle by Pope Francis. Father Junipero Serra was born Miguel Serra to a family of farmers in 1713. He turned out to be a gifted singer with a good singing voice. This was when he was a young kid. As a teenager, he attended a Franciscan school. In 1730, he was given the religious name of Junipero. By 1737, Serra became a Franciscan priest. Serra later became a missionary, first to Mexico, where he arrived from Spain. That was in 1749. His missionary work later brought him to Baja California, almost 2 decades later, around 1767. There were 13 missions along Baja California where Father Junipero Serra eventually became president. Missions back then were simply outposts built by Franciscan padres to help expand Christianity, and mostly among Native Americans. There was a need for missions in early California, and Father Serra embarked on his most important work as he made his way through Baja California, and he later arrived in San Diego, California. The first California mission was founded by Father Serra in San Diego in July of 1769. He eventually made his way up towards Northern California around Monterey and San Francisco, having established 21 California missions from San Diego to Monterey. Some of the most famous missions include Mission San Juan Capistrano, which is depicted in the famous song When the Swallows Come Back from Capistrano, the San Gabriel Mission near Los Angeles, and the mission in Carmel, California, where a major shrine of Father Serra was established. The missions were very instrumental in spreading Christianity among the Native Americans in California. Before it became part of America after the Mexican War in the 1840s. Today, they are tourist attractions. The Carmel mission was the last California mission to be built in June 1770. That became the headquarters for all the California missions, where Father Serra remained from 1770 until his death in 1784. Over 200 years later, Father Serra was considered for sainthood for the first time by the Catholic Church in 1988. Pope John Paul beatified him, which is the first major step toward sainthood, and Serra's feast day, August 28th, was established. As it turns out, some people felt that Serra was responsible for were no strangers to the use of corporal punishment towards the Native Americans. In fact, Father Serra was said to have often inflicted corporal punishment on himself. As it turns out, Catholic schools and other Catholic institutions have been legendary as far as the use of corporal punishment goes. Nevertheless, there was a lot of controversy over Father Serra being canonized for this reason. That went on for close to 3 decades. And in September 2015, as Pope Francis made his first visit to the United States, he canonized Father Serra, and Junipero Serra became Saint Junipero Serra. Most of these saints have soft saint dolls, and it didn't take long for them to come up with one for Father Serra. Descendants of the suppressed Native Americans protested by desecrating Serra's grave and toppling his statue in Carmel, which didn't change anything. All in all, Father Junipero Serra was highly instrumental in spreading Christianity all up and down the state of California, like St. Patrick was in Ireland and Juan Diego was in Latin America. So Pope Francis dubbed St. Junipero Serra as the Apostle to California. Father Serra is the last apostle. The end. Now I'd like to say a few words. There was desecration to his grave and shrine up in Northern California when he was given sainthood. But last spring, as you know, after the George Floyd incident, there was a lot of topplings of statues and historical monuments. And out in California, a lot of people started to desecrate Father Serra's statues all over again. So much so that city officials who had statues of Father Serra standing had to remove them and from where they were and move them to a safe place where they wouldn't get damaged or vandalized. Let me just say this. As I've learned as a Christian, I am not perfect, just forgiven. And that goes for God's servants who are called to his servants. They aren't perfect. God uses them just as they are. And they're just forgiven because the blood of Jesus has paid for their sins. And they've been chosen by God to spread his message and his gospel. And Father Serra was called to spread the gospel up and down California to the Native Americans for a reason. He was canonized a saint by Pope Francis in 2015 for a reason. And not many of God's servants who are canonized by the Catholic Church as saints end up being dubbed apostles, like Peter and the 12 apostles, or St. Patrick, St. Francis of Assisi, St. Juan Diego. But because Father Serra covered a lot of territory in the state of California with his ministry, Pope Francis dubbed Father Serra the Apostle to California for a reason. This was Father Serra's legacy. And so I'm asking you, let Junipero Serra and his legacy rest in peace in the eternity of God's presence and stop the desecration. And thank you and good night.